Hello everyone, happy Monday. Welcome back to 2022. Jackie here from TBA Law and we're back open. We're here to help you with your legal needs, buying or selling property, looking to make sure that your wealth will transfer in the way that you want to should something happen to you, making sure that you're prepared if there was some kind of accident, that your kids will be looked after, all those sorts of things. Also, making sure that the terms and conditions in your businesses are up to date, and if you're buying or selling a business or leasing, all those sorts of things, we're here. So Nagambi's fully back up and open. Seymour in our new location will be open on Wednesday in the mall, and Romsey is back open from today. We are having some issues with staff being a little bit too stretched because we've had 3 people having to isolate waiting for test results because tests are taking so long in Victoria. So kicking off 2022, I'm jumping straight in and we're going to talk about gifting rules for Centrelink because the start of a new year, we're potentially thinking about some proper planning for the year, maybe planning for retirement, maybe planning to downsize or something like that. And if you are eligible for Centrelink, then you do need to be aware of the Centrelink gifting rules. Now, this also applies to people on pensions because, again, if you have a beneficiary that may be a pensioner, even if it's a disabled person on a disability pension, you do need to be aware that the gifting rules apply for them as well. So you can't leave them a big chunk of money knowing that they can then give it away so it doesn't affect their pension, because it will affect their pension. It'll be an asset that they get tested on, and then if they give it away, they'll be penalised for that. So what are these penalties? What are the rules that Centrelink have? So there isn't generally a gifting tax or any penalties on anyone else giving money. Chunks of money, transferring property, there can be stamp duty and capital gains tax to transfer property to a beneficiary, but there's no gifting tax in Australia generally. The gifting rules apply for Centrelink for those on age pensions or disability pensions. So what are those rules? And why do they exist? Well, they exist mainly because to be eligible for a pension, you have an asset test, and the government doesn't want people giving away their money or assets, so they qualify for a pension. So the rule is you can't give more than $30,000 worth of cash or assets away over a 5-year period. Now, you can do that in $10,000 chunks each year for 3 years, and then you can't give anything for 2 years. So it is $30,000 over 5 years all up. So you can see that that's not very much. And if you're trying to reduce your assets so you qualify for Centrelink, you do need to do it 5 years in advance. So the planning for retirement has to be a long way out, really. And we do a lot of this for farmers, actually. We look in their 50s at them wanting to get a pension in their late 60s, and we start moving some of the farming land from their own name into farming trusts so that it's not going to impact them in terms of the asset test for Centrelink when they do come to retire. It also applies, as I said, on beneficiaries receiving income. So again, if you are on a Centrelink pension and you get some inheritance, you can't receive it into your own name and then give it to your kids. You need to basically give up the inheritance before it even gets to you and direct the estate to pay the benefit to your kids directly from the estate rather than once it lands in your own name. So there you are. It's relevant for planning for retirement to get a pension. It's relevant for later getting inheritance after a parent passes and wanting to give money to children. And it's also relevant for downsizing. So when you first retire, you might still be in the family home, but then the family home gets too much and you need to downsize to a unit or go into one of these over 55 residential communities. When you sell your main residence and pay for the next one, you might still have a big chunk of cash left over. That will be counted as an asset, and it could affect your pension moving forward because your primary residence is not counted as an asset, but all of a sudden you've got a few $100,000 sitting in cash. It will affect your pension. You can't just give it away. There is some planning that we can do before you get to that situation, but it's too late once you're in that situation. You can't rejig things and you can't hide money from Centrelink. So there you are, just so that you bear that in mind, whether it is a parent that you're thinking about that needs to do some planning or whether you're approaching a retirement yourself, do think about the eligibility for pensions. Or again, if you're doing your estate planning and you have a beneficiary who is a pensioner, whether it's a disabled child on a disability pension or something like that, think about those sort of things. There's certainly other planning that we can do to help. So first video for the year. Again, throughout the year, I'm going to try and do these every Monday at 10. Sarah and Rochelle are both going to do a monthly Facebook Live as well. So those topics will be shared throughout the year. We're going to be here giving you as much information as we can. All the videos that we do live are saved onto the page. So they're still there on the videos tab on our page if you want to go back and have a look through the old things. If it's relevant for anyone that you know, please tag their name in the comments, or if it's a bit more private, you can share it with them through the messenger service. So, happy 2022. Let's hope that it's not a repeat of the last 2 years. Although, as I said earlier, we're already having some difficulties making sure we've got staff across all offices because of people having to isolate while waiting for test results that are taking longer. But this is the environment we live in at the moment, and certainly, hopefully, no lockdowns, and that we can return to some level of normalcy. I'll see you again next week. Great to be back, and look after yourselves as always.